The question is that this House has considered flood risk and flood defence infrastructure in the North West. Tom Morrison.
Thank you, Dr Morrison. It's an honour to serve under your chairship. I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for Warrington South for bringing this debate to the House today. Despite 3 Section 19 reports identifying the issue of blockage, nothing happens despite recommendations to do so. Now, those are the words of Stephen, a constituent of mine in Bramhall, who has suffered bad flooding at his home for many years now. And just this week, flooding on the A555 Relief Road under Holmoss Lane Bridge, just down the road from Stephen in Bramhall, saw accidents, a road closure and disruption to many people's lives. And yet this area is being bombarded with planning proposals encouraged by government policy that does not in any measure address flooding. And each year, more and more houses are at risk of this. This takes a serious toll on people, not just financially, but emotionally too. PTSD, long-term displacement and lifetime debt are only some of the consequences of flooding events in our communities. And I had one resident contact me to say that every time they get the EA's emergency alert on their phone, they break out into pure panic. Please do. I will come down to it. There is a question of flooding here, and according to the EA's report in March 2024, 3.2 million properties are at risk of surface water flooding. And the latest surface water flooding risk assessment carried out by the EA has increased the flood risk of many of my homes in Cheadle constituency, many of the residents in Cheadle constituency. And residents need to know that the government is taking flood water seriously. Through working with residents this year and throughout the awful floods in January and with Stockport Council and the EA, it's clear that serious clarification is needed. Stockport Council did not receive any funding from the EA or government following January's disastrous flooding, despite the serious and widespread impact and the ruined lives it caused. And what is more, the EA's long-term flood risk management strategy for the River Mersey has been delayed, which is arguably one of the reasons why Stockport Council missed out on this funding. Organisations responsible makes a fantastic point, and this is the crux of the problem, that we do concentrate a lot on areas like the Mersey and such forth, but really we have a load of waterways and a load of issues around sewage and drainage which need to be encompassed in any thinking that we have. Organisations responsible must not only be properly funded in the long term, but also able to work constructively and effectively together to protect residents. And as the government forces us to build, baby, build, new developments will only increase the surface water flooding as more greenbelt gets built on and reduces natural drainage. The government's response to the National Infrastructure Commission's report on surface water flooding, in the NIC's own words, did not meet the scale of the challenge. And the National Flood Forum receives over 1,000 calls a year, often from vulnerable residents affected by recent developments caused by flooding. The Planning and Infrastructure Bill does not even refer to flooding, flood risk management, and the Environmental Agency flood risk guidance is often ignored, legally challenged within the bill. I was really proud to support the Liberal Democrats' amendments to the bill that would properly tackle flooding in relation to planning and require that sustainable drainage systems are implemented in any new development. The EA's own roadmap for 2026 suggests that for every £1 spent on protecting communities, we avoid around £5 in property damages. So this is incredibly important. And now is the time to commit, therefore, for long-term funding, not shy away from it at all. And this is essential to ensuring that my constituents in Cheadle, Bramhall, Woodford, Gatley, all these communities that have been impacted by flooding over the last 12 years can be supported in protecting their homes, protecting their businesses and their communities, and reduce the impact of increasingly heavy storms, increased surface water, and the new developments that have not properly been considered. Chair, I'd like to finish with a remark from Karen, who lives near the Micker Brook in Cheadle. She said that planners and developers must take into account flooding when building. What happened at the mill in Stockport on New Year's Day was simply appalling. The developer should be held responsible for this. And this government now must take urgent action that takes into flooding risk seriously, provides a long-term ring-fence funding for organisations such as the EA, such as councils who are responsible, and legislate without delay on the close connection between flooding, between development and between infrastructure. Thank you.
I should be